Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Comic Book Corner. I'm Steve.
I'm Joe.
And we're here to talk comic books with you. We host a show called Dinner and a Podcast with our buddies Mike and Seb. But each week we want to talk and share our thoughts on our favorite comic books, new and old. This is a review show, so there will be spoilers, and all the books that we discuss will be listed in the show info below. If you want us to read or hear our thoughts on any particular book or artist, please contact us on social media at Dinner and a Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Or you can email us at dinnerandpodcast@gmail.com. We love to hear what you think about our critiques and also what you think of the books that we discuss. So let us know what you think. This week, our main books that we're going to discuss are the DC run of No Justice, and we're also going to talk about Justice League #1. Next week, we're going to talk about the Hunt for Wolverine tie-ins, all the #1s of the Wolverine tie-ins. That's the Adamantium Agenda, the Mystery in Madripoor, Claws of the Killer, and there's one other one, Weapon Lost.
Weapons Lost.
Then we're going to go through some books that we read for the week, and then we'll talk about the social media and the requests that we got. We got great numbers last week for the first show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're so super excited, super stoked to get the feedback that we did. We really didn't think we were going to get the feedback that we did, but we couldn't have been happier with how much you guys listened and how much you guys interacted with us on social media. So thank you very much for that. So that leads us into our main topic, which is the No Justice storyline from DC. This is a 4-issue story that led right out of Dark Knight's Metal.
Yep.
Which was one of our favorite things of all time, I think. I don't know about of all time, but it was definitely one of my favorite things of the past year or two.
Oh, absolutely. It was fantastic.
Yeah. For those of you who didn't read Dark Knight's Metal, I don't think you need to for this book. I don't think it's necessary that you read Metal.
Right.
Especially if you're going to get our little summary of it right now. So basically what happened was in Metal, the Dark Multiverse was trying to come over into our multiverse.
Yes.
So the heroes had to do something about it, and Batman led the charge. It all had to do with Nth Metal and Hawkman and Hawkgirl. And at the end of it, spoiler alert if you didn't read it, they kind of break the universe.
Big time.
Big time. There's like this wall, like at the end of our multiverse, that the Justice League basically broke in order to save the multiverse. They really didn't have an option. It was either let the multiverse get destroyed or taken over by the Dark Multiverse, right, or break it to defeat the baddie who was Barbados.
Right.
Okay. And all the other bad Batmans, which are really cool. And that's going to be a future show. All the different Dark Knights, the evil Batmans from different dimensions.
The best part.
That's the best part. We're definitely going to do a show on that, I hope, anyway. I would love to do that. So let's go through the No Justice books. So the first one, which I thought was a beautifully drawn book. One of the things I disliked about this book was that they switched artists throughout the different issues.
It was just one issue.
Yeah, it was the issue 3.
Yep.
Changed artists. The writers are Scott Snyder and Williamson and Tinian. And the artist for the first book was Manipal. And he was also the artist for 2, and he was the artist on 4. But on 3, they changed artist to Rosmo and Toe. And the art just...
No, it was bad.
Yeah, it was borderline bad.
Yep.
The coloring was the same. That was done by Hi-Fi, which is a really cool coloring style and inking style.
Beautiful books.
Beautiful books. And the covers are insane.
Yep.
But the first book, basically, it leads right in from Dark Knight's Metal, where all the Green Lanterns kind of show up at what we call the source wall, the edge of the multiverse, and they notice that
it's broken.
There's a hole in it.
It's a big hole.
There's a big hole in the wall. And there are these things behind the wall that are trying to get through.
Right.
And they're giant. They almost look like Galactus type
yeah, they're pretty much for Galacti.
Sure. All right. That might be that might be the plural of Galactus.
Yeah. Galactuses.
And the Green Lanterns are all like, what the hell is this? What's going on?
Yeah.
And Hal Jordan's like, we saved the multiverse and this happened.
But they all give him shit about it.
They do.
John Stewart, Guy Gardner, like, yeah, you did this. This is your fault.
Yeah.
We're trying to fix your problem. And he's just like, I'm just... we just saved the world. Like, there was something worse than this coming.
Yeah. If we didn't do this, the multiverse would have been over.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. And that was like a theme throughout the book, I thought.
Yeah. It was like the Justice League fucked up.
Yeah.
and everybody's mad about it.
Right. And all the Justice Leaguers are like, listen, fuckers, either deal with this or you go fight the next bad guy. So then it moves into the Justice League fighting Brainiac, which is a beautiful, beautiful splash page. And Brainiac's basically kicking their ass, not even trying. He's just standing there. And his entities are, grabbing Batman and Wonder Woman and Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg, and they have really no shot.
But it was a cool tie-in because it just wasn't the main Justice League team.
Right.
It was Teen Titans. It was Titans.
The bad guys.
It was bad guys. It was villains as well.
Anti-heroes.
Like they were all, battling Brainiac.
Yep.
And it was all for a purpose.
Right. So Brainiac basically grabs Superman by the skull and says, listen, stop fighting me because we need to do something and I'm going to show you how to do it.
Right.
And Superman's like, no, we're going to kick your ass. And Brainiac's like, no, you're not. And then all of a sudden, they all wake up. They were all unconscious. They all wake up on Brainiac's ship.
Yep.
And it's everybody. It's Beast Boy. It's Harley Quinn. It's Zatanna. It's Starfire. All the characters. All the main Justice League characters.
And none of them know why they're there.
They have no idea why they're there. Martian Manhunter. Damian Wayne. Dr. Fate. The Atom. Okay, they're all there. And they have no idea what's going on. And Brainiac tells them, listen, you broke the fucking universe. Again, that theme comes back. Yeah. And he's like, you broke the universe. And there are these 4 entities called the Omega Titans.
Yep.
And the Omega Titans are brothers. They're 4 brothers that each one of them has a different energy. The energies they have are entropy, wisdom, wonder, and mystery.
Yes.
So each one of the Titans has their own energy. And they play like a fucked up game, these Omega Titans, where they go to worlds and they're all like arguing about which energy is the best energy. So like entropy's like, my energy is better than your energy, wisdom, and wisdom's like, oh, my energy is better than yours, mystery. And the way they figure it out is they go to worlds and they plant the seeds of their energies in the worlds.
Right.
So every world that's in the multiverse has seeds for each one of these Omega Titans. Mm-hmm. Now, each world is different, and each world has different characteristics and different people.
Right.
And whatever energy is the foremost of that world
is the
winner.
That is attracted to it.
Right. So let's just say there's a world that's full of wisdom, and that seed will grow the most, which means the wisdom brother of the Omega Titans wins, and he gets to eat the planet and reabsorb the energy, which is a pretty fucked up game to play with your with your brothers. But so they did this all across the galaxy, and now they're coming to our part of the multiverse, right? Because the Justice League broke the source world.
Well, they're on Brainiac's world,
right?
Which is a wisdom world,
right? Which is Kalu.
Yep.
The world of Kalu. So he tells the Justice League, you broke this. We're all going to help fix this.
And this is how we're going to do it.
And this is how we're going to go about doing it. Now, what he does is he has to now convince the Justice League and all these other heroes that they have to split up into teams and fight and do exactly what he says in order to win the fight.
Right.
Now, the teams are really, really interesting because they're not teams that you would think of.
They're broken up based upon the energies of the Omega Titans.
Right.
So he puts together heroes, and then you find out villains that have the same kind of energy types or whatever, like power.
So one team, and all the teams are on the covers.
Right.
One team is Superman, Starfire, Sinestro, Martian Manhunter, and Starro. Did I say Starro already?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. And they are called...
And the Atom.
And the Atom. Oh, is he on there? And he is team... What are they? Team Wonder? No, they're not Team Wonder. That's Wonder Woman's team. Team Wisdom?
Wisdom, yep.
Yeah, Team Wisdom. Okay, what do you have on that one?
I have...
That's Team Wonder.
Team Wonder is Wonder Woman, Raven, Dr. Fate, Zatanna, and the Demon.
Team Entropy is Batman, Lobo, Lex Luthor, Beast Boy, and Deathstroke.
And then Mystery was Flash, Cyborg, Harley Quinn, Robin, and Adam's on that team.
And Adam's on that team. Yep. Okay. Just as Brainiac is about to tell them how to defeat the Omega Titans, how to go about defeating the Omega Titans, because he says very specifically, you got to do exactly what I'm telling you to do,
right,
or else it's not going to work. His head explodes. And we find out that Amanda Waller has recruited every psychic metahuman on Earth to kind of force their way into Brainiac's head
Right.
to kill him.
No, to take his memory.
To take his memories. But in the process, they kill him,
Right.
take all of his memories, and I think they die too. I think the psychics die too.
Yeah, they don't work anymore.
But they basically get to download all his memories.
Yes.
And that's kind of how the first book ends, where they're all like, oh shit, what do we do now?
Yeah, because they never got the plan on how to beat the Titan.
Right. And a lot of the younger parts of the group, like Damien,
Beast
and Beast
Boy.
Boy, they kind of don't want to join forces with Brainiac. And
Robin is he's a brat.
He's such a dick. He is such a dick. And Batman's kind of like, listen, we have to do this. This is the truth. Martian Manhunter was
Right.
reading Brainiac's mind, and he's like, you know what? This is all true. What he's saying is the truth. So in issue 2, they go to Kalu, and you finally see the Omega Titans, and the Justice League is pretty much out of their league, so to speak.
Right.
They don't know what to do. They try their best to come up with a plan, and the plan is to go to each tree, because each one of these seeds that have been planted grows a tree.
Right. And gives a fruit.
And whichever tree grows has the most energy in it, that's the one who wins.
Right.
So you see all of the different teams go to all the different trees, the Tree of Entropy, Wonder, Mystery, and Wisdom, and they basically try to shut down these trees.
Yes.
Cyborg's plugged into them, trying to figure out
Right.
how to turn them off, and they lose. They pretty much they don't succeed.
Right.
And the Omega Titans destroy the planet of Kalu. Before they get off Kalu, Starfire realizes that in Brainiac's lair
Right.
is all these worlds. We know that about Brainiac. He goes around collecting worlds. He miniaturizes them into like little fish bowls.
Right.
And one of the planets was Starfire's planet. So she uses Lex Luthor and Sinestro to help release all those planets
Yep.
back into the multiverse. Who knows if that's going to come back later?
Probably. Because someone's gonna be like, you guys broke the universe.
Right.
Told you so.
Because now all those worlds have to reanimate
Yeah.
themselves into
Yeah.
into space somewhere. In the third book, they're still on Kalu, and this is where the art gets really bad.
Yeah, it's
Look at this Wonder Woman.
Terrible book.
It kind of reminds me of the Ninja Turtles Batman series, but not good.
It reminds me of the Dark Knight, the last Mark Miller one that came
Okay.
out. Frank Miller.
Yes.
That came out this year. It started off beautiful and then it just fell to pieces.
Right. But in the third book, it's just a continuation. Yeah, we finally found that page with all the teams on it. It's just a continuation of book 2, where you finally see them lose. But in the process of losing and saving all those worlds from Brainiac, Starro basically gives himself up.
Yes.
And he dies. He gives himself up. He tries to control one of the Omega Titans' brains
Right.
and thoughts, like Starro does. And the Omega Titan rips him in half. He rips Starro in half. And they're all kind of sad about that. I was never a big fan of Starro, so I really don't care. Back on Earth, you have Green Lantern and Amanda Waller kind of going at it with each other because
she's trying to destroy the seed that's on Earth.
Right.
Which Brainiac put there as blackmail.
Right.
For the heroes to keep the Titans away.
Right.
And or have them fight for the Titan.
Mm-hmm.
But then the seed gets activated.
Because of Green Arrow.
Yes.
Whatever Green Arrow does activates the seed.
Yeah.
Waller wanted to nuke it, and Ollie said no.
She is obnoxiously terrible.
Yeah. But is that what
Everything
she's
she
supposed
does,
to be, though?
like she's like the reverse of Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Like he's working with the heroes to make the world better, and she's like, well, whatever you do, I'm gonna try to like do it my way, so I don't need you anymore.
Right.
But then messes everything up worse, and you need the heroes anyway.
Right. In book 4, book 3 ends with the Titans destroying Kalu, going to Earth now.
Right.
So now all the heroes are stuck on Kalu, and they don't know how to get to Earth. So that's why they interact with Brainiac's son.
Brainiac 2.0.
Brainiac 2.0.
So stupid.
Which is a pretty crappy name. He does have another name.
Yeah.
Some weird name that people came up with. But he calls himself Brainiac 2.0. He actually gets them to Earth. He
Right.
brings them to Earth. And he brings them to Earth just to see them fail.
No, he leaves them.
Yeah, because he wants them all to die.
Yep.
He wants them all
Yep.
to die. So this is the conclusion of No Justice. And pretty much just to sum it all up, like you said before, Joe, they have to now, they figured out that it's not deactivating the trees
Right.
that is going to beat them. It's filling the seed up that they got from one of the trees.
Right.
With all the energies. They fill up the entropy seed with wisdom, wonder, and what was the other one? We always
Wisdom.
skip the fourth one. Wisdom, wonder, entropy, and mystery.
It's a mystery, that
It is
fourth
a mystery.
one.
That fourth one is a mystery. So they have to fill up this one seed with all of the different energies.
Right.
And then they shoot that seed into one of the Omega Titans. Now,
Right.
the Omega Titan that was winning on Earth was the Entropy
Yes.
Titan. Because the world of Earth is full of entropy and hate and,
Right.
and darkness and horrible gloominess. So that was the Titan that was going to win that particular world. So they filled up this entropy seed with all of the energies, and Hal Jordan manifests a big
like a revolver.
to shoot the seed into the Titan, and then
So lame.
but they knew it was lame too, because Green Arrow comes and he's like, dude, make me a bow and arrow or a big
You're a horrible shot.
or a crossbow. I'm a way better shot than you, and let me do it, which I thought was really cool.
That I thought was cool. But then he makes like a giant crossbow. You couldn't make like a space cannon that looks high tech.
But it's Green Arrow. It fits
But then
him.
he could still shoot it.
He could,
But how can-
but he's
like-
not Hawkeye. Hawkeye would shoot everything. Not, I feel like the Green Arrow only shoots arrows.
But how would he be able to shoot what
Yeah.
Green Lantern manifests?
I don't know.
I don't know, right?
That is true. I never thought about that.
Yeah, that bothered me a lot.
All right. But wait. But they people do interact with his manifestations. Like, he puts people in bubbles. He puts people in handcuffs. So, like...
Yeah, are there restraints or are there
Yeah.
protection? Like if it's a...
But they do hold the people. Like, the people fight against it and they can't get out of it, right? So there has to be some type of interaction. I'm fine with it. So they do that, and once they fire this energy-filled seed into the Entropy Titan, all of the other Titans want to feed off of it.
Right.
Because it's full of their energies as well. That's why they filled it up with mystery and
Yep.
wonder and entropy and mystery. I can't remember that fourth one. So all the other Titans eat the one Titan.
Yes.
So the mystery, the wonder, and
Mystery,
entropy,
wisdom.
wisdom. So the wisdom, the wonder, and the... Damn it! I don't know. They all eat the entropy Titan. So
Right.
so basically they all cannibalize each other.
Yes.
And that's how the world basically is saved. Martian Manhunter's like, this can't be a good thing, because these entities were there to kind of balance the universe.
Right.
And now that they're gone, this probably is bad.
Yep.
Even though this is, again, something we had to do.
So let's run it back. Source Wall is broken.
Source Wall's broke.
All these miniature worlds are now released into the universe.
Right. In places they shouldn't have been.
And the keys to balancing the universe are now gone.
Are now gone. Thanks, Justice League.
Yep. The Just Us League.
The Just Us League.
Well, you know what sums it up? There's a part in one of the books where it's when the seed on Earth gets activated.
Right.
And Oliver calls Hal Jordan for backup.
Yeah.
And Hal's like, I'm kind of busy saving the universe.
Yeah, how's in Kalu?
And he's like, Earth's going to die. I need you down here.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just drops everything to come save Earth.
Right. Well, that's his sector.
What he brings a whole bunch of other Green Lanterns. When is Earth more important than the rest of the universe? Like, you would think Brainiac just lost his world.
Right. Well,
But-
Kalu has their own Green Lantern.
But Earth is so important that everybody's got to stop what they're doing to save Earth.
No, just Hal. But they all live on Earth. All these. Come on.
For a bunch of people that just complain about the universe being broken by the Justice League,
Yeah.
they're all very fast to be like, all right, the universe is in danger. Earth needs to be safe. Let's drop everything.
Well, not Waller. Waller, the whole book was like,
Let's blow everybody up.
yeah, let's just nuke it because your friends can't handle it.
Yep.
Your friends keep breaking shit.
Yep, we're gonna blow up wherever the seed was, which looked like it was by Fortress of Solitude.
Yes.
And then there were other ones throughout the world.
Yeah,
which,
one
like,
was in Bellerive.
Right.
The Entropy one was in Bellerive.
Now we got to blow up 4 places because of you guys.
Right. Exactly. So I gather you didn't like it that much.
I was intrigued up until book 3.
Okay.
I didn't like the resolution of the Omega Titans.
I thought that was a fairly interesting way to beat the Titan. It wasn't with their brute strength or anything, because they couldn't do it.
I thought that they because book 4 is like the first 3 pages. They beat the Titan, and then the rest of the book is what continues on from there.
Okay.
But I just assume that you could have taken that whole book and made it like a nice drawn out story. They were like, well, we gave you 3 books, and now we're going to just power through the gods, and let's see what happens next.
Right. All right.
Because then after they beat the gods, it's all about Justice League, where they go moving forward.
Right.
And basically you have Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman kind of putting together their own secret teams.
Yeah.
It's like Batman's talking to Black Lightning. Wonder Woman's talking to Raven and Zatanna.
Right.
And Superman was talking to somebody else.
Was he with Martian Manhunter by any chance?
Maybe.
Because at the end, Martian Manhunter becomes the leader of the Justice League.
Yes.
He gets the little promotion of... Now, we haven't seen Martian Manhunter in a long time.
No, he's been missing for a while.
He's been missing for a while. And this is one of the things I like about Scott Snyder, is that he likes to take old characters that were very important
right,
and had a very big following that haven't been around a while and bring them back.
Well, I think he comes back in the Metal storyline.
Martian Manhunter?
Yeah.
I don't remember him much in it.
I think he had died, and then he comes back at the end.
Okay.
But then you have... It's kind of based off of Batman, Justice League Dark. Like there's like a detective version. They're all kind of like, we need to think differently in how we approach the world, because now we know that it's not just one emotion, justice. There's all these other things that we have to worry about now.
Right.
And then you have Lex Luthor, who kind of is like, well, I've seen what's out there. I know what to expect. I'm going to do things my own way.
Right. And he leaves Earth.
Right.
And he goes somewhere else. This is kind of like a prelude to the new Justice League book. Now, the new Justice League book is written by Scott Snyder.
Yep.
And penciled by Jim Chung.
I love his artwork.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? And inks by Mark Morales. So you got 3 superstars of DC on the Justice League book. Now, that I think was something that we've been missing. I don't think... like, the Justice League is like the Avengers, or is the Avengers of the Marvel universe, right?
The DC universe.
The DC universe. And you should have your biggest and best names on this book.
Yes.
So I'm finally glad that they put Snyder, Chung, and Morales on it. I was a little worried about Snyder being a Justice League writer, because Snyder tends to be dark and gritty and serious.
Right.
He doesn't do a lot of fun books. Like even All-Star Batman.
Yep.
It was goofy at times, but I don't think it was ever fun. You know? I loved it. I loved All-Star Batman.
I just hope that they don't, like 4 or 5 issues in, change the artists and whatnot. I'll be very disappointed, because I really enjoyed this book.
You know what? It's so hard now for artists to do every book in the series because of the demand of it.
I don't need him to do every book, but if you're going to do a story arc,
right? Yeah. So if you're going to do
finish the
4 or
story,
5 books,
like the No Justice line. The art was fantastic. Issues 1, 2, and 4.
Right.
Keep it all uniform. Like, unless someone couldn't make a deadline.
Yeah.
Which, that's shame on your editor in chief for assigning someone or not getting it done.
Right.
But either way, when you open up this book, you have the facade of the Hall of Justice.
Beautiful.
And the details in the writing are amazing, because there's a line in there that says Superman brought the bricks that catch light and reflect it brighter. Yeah. So it looks like it's illuminated no matter what time of day.
Yeah, he got some crazy mineral from some world to build the facade of the Justice League, and it holds on to the light longer than any Earth material. Yeah. So even at night, it's illuminated. Yeah, that was a really good line. I enjoyed that line.
And then there's a picture of all like the costumes, and it says, "It was said that the heroes debated over which costumes to include in the entryway, but the truth in the vote was quick and unanimous, as it should be." Wonder Woman said with a nod, "We include everyone."
Yeah, that was a great line.
Like, imagine like if this existed and you walked in and every Justice League member's costume was right then and there.
Right.
That would just knock you over.
Oh, out of my seat.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the very, very opening of this book showed... It was a little weird. It was like a timeline page.
Right.
And it has this thing crossing going across the sky in different time periods, 85,000 years from now, 85,000 years ago, 5,000 years from now. And there's just this streaking, looks like a shooting star shooting across the galaxy. And that's what the main point of this whole book is. That there's something that came from this hole in the source wall, this damn source wall breakage. Something is shooting towards Earth from the source, from the break in the source wall. And that's what the Justice League have to deal with. Now, the splash page on the third page.
It's amazing.
Oh my God. So you got the splash page. On the left-hand side, you got 3 columns. In one is Batman, one is Flash, one is Wonder Woman. On the other page, you got Aquaman in a column, Hawkgirl, and Superman. And they're all beating up these things called the Neo-Neanderthals that are working for Vandal Savage. And the thing that I liked most about this was that they're all making fun of Batman.
Yes.
Like they're
doing impressions of Batman.
Yeah, each one of them does a Batman impression. And they get to the end where Cyborg and Superman, and they're like, Cyborg, do your Batman impression. He goes, I can't. Clark does his so much better. And Batman's like, no, he doesn't. Oh, but it's so good because they're friends,
right?
And they know each other really well, and they know each other so well that they can mess around with each other. So I really like that interaction between them. But they quickly realize that these Neo-Neanderthals are not the big problem,
right?
Because Martian Manhunter, who's the leader of the Justice League now, he's kind of sitting in space, using his psychic powers to connect all of them mentally.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a watcher.
Yeah, and he's allowing Superman and all the other Justice League members to communicate with each other
through him.
Through him with their mind. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the ultimate Bluetooth.
Right.
Right? So, but that's not all he's doing. He's also looking at other things in the universe and see what's happening. And he notices this thing shooting through the sky, which they end up calling the Totality.
Right.
Right? Because that was the name of this book. That was the title of this.
Totality Part 1.
Totality Part 1. And their way to kind of stem off this thing is kind of crash into the moon?
Yes.
Kind of thing? Because the Earth starts breaking apart because of this totality.
Right.
So the Martian Manhunter realizes, like, if I get rid of the moon, it'll mess around with the Earth's magnetic field and it'll put the Earth back together. But the moon's not going to be in such great shape after we're done with it. But that's the only thing we can do. Again, Justice League doing what they have to do to save the Earth. This is when we see Vandal Savage with his Neo-Neanderthals, and then Lex Luthor shows up out of nowhere. So he must have come back from wherever he left from and no justice.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives it to Vandal Savage pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, does he kill him?
Yes, he kills him.
Spoiler alert. He kills Vandal Savage. He rips something out of his chest or his head. Something. Because Vandal Savage knows something that nobody else does. For some reason, Vandal Savage knows about this totality. Which probably connects to that opening timeline page. Because Vandal Savage has been alive forever, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably been around for all of these experiences. So now, the Justice League has this really cool little meeting. Martian Manhunter calls this meeting, and they call it like a psychic boardroom. Yes. I thought this was so super cool.
Right.
And it's a table in the middle of space, and all the Justice League members are around it, but they're not really there. They're on Earth. But psychically, Martian Manhunter brings them around this table, and it's like, okay, listen, there's this thing. It's going to hit the planet, and we got about 4 minutes till it hits the planet. What do you want to do? And I was like, whoa, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
You know? So the options are, try to blast it with something, because Jon Stewart makes himself a big cannon that they were going to fire some type of energy into it.
Yes, that's what I would have made in the other book.
That one? Instead of Hal's crossbow, giant crossbow? That's pretty cool. The other option is let it hit Earth and see what happens.
Right.
Because maybe this totality could help us and not destroy us. We don't know what it is, so maybe we shouldn't destroy it. In the meantime, Luthor gets these guys together. Look at this splash page, man. The Legion of Doom.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
The new Legion of Doom. Lex Luthor got these guys. He got Sinestro, the Joker, Gorilla Grodd, Black Manta, and Cheetah. And this Joker. Oh, this Joker drawing is unfreaking believable. All you do is get an introduction into these guys. They have pretty much no dialogue. They don't tell you what they're up to.
Right.
But it's just this introduction of that the Legion of Doom is back. That, and they let the totality hit the planet.
Yeah.
And that's where they leave you. They don't tell you if the totality is good or bad. They don't tell you if the world ends or if it survives. I'm assuming it survives because there's probably an issue 2 coming out soon.
Right.
So they must have survived. Now, at the end, Martian Manhunter, before the totality hits the Earth, Martian Manhunter sees visions from
What
Vandal
happens?
Savage, right? That's because when Vandal Savage dies,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure all these visions from Vandal Savage get sent to Martian Manhunter. And he sees things, and in those things that he sees, everyone's dead.
Right.
He's the only one surviving, and he's floating in space, like almost as like a rotting carcass. He's not dead, but he's all mangled and he's really skinny. He's in his Martian form, and he doesn't know what to make of it. And he doesn't tell the Justice League about it, which I thought was a little strange.
No.
He doesn't tell the Justice League, and then he lets the totality hit the planet, and that's where they leave you. So I enjoyed it. It's more of an introduction book. You're not going to get I don't think there's a lot of substance. It's more for setup.
If you want to start reading Justice League, these 5 books are a great start. It's a good jumping in point. Mm-hmm. The art's really good.
Do you think you need to read No Justice to get into this Justice League one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It sets up a good precedence for what's happening.
Okay.
Because you have a lot of the team building.
Yeah.
And you could buy Justice League #1 and figure out it's a Justice League, they're working together.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of comics, you know why.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, No Justice kind of ties in Metal, which is what kind of like spawns all of this.
Yeah.
And it
Definitely
kinda
go read Metal.
moves you forward. It also kind of gives you a preface for why Sinestro and Lex Luthor and all these villains are together, because they kind of tie into No Justice as well.
Right.
But it's definitely worth picking up.
Oh, I absolutely think so too. You read any other books this week? So that was the main title. Got any other books?
I did. So I read, but we're going to do these later on. So I'm just going to say what I bought, and that we're going to get to them at some point in the very near future.
Okay.
I read the Batman Prelude to the Wedding, Nightwing versus Hush.
Mm-hmm.
I read Hunt for Wolverine, the
Okay.
Weapons Lost books,
Okay.
and the Batman versus Deathstroke story arc.
Right. Yeah, and we're going to discuss all those
Yeah,
in
we'll
more
get to
detail later. Just some extra things that I read that I think you might be interested in is The Man of Steel. I spoke about that a little bit last
Right.
week. This one picks up kind of where the other one left off. The other one left off with Superman looking out his window with his family, seeing something coming towards him.
Right.
This one, that thing gets him. Whatever that was.
They find him.
They find him. And kind of kicks his butt a little bit.
Okay.
So pick up Man of Steel. That's a good book. It's only a 6-issue run. It's only on #2 right now. So definitely pick that up. I also kept going with the new DC characters, The Curse of the Brimstone and Damage.
Right.
Now, The Curse of the Brimstone, I'm going to give this story arc, I'm going to finish it out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to decide whether I want to keep going with it. The Curse of the Brimstone is DC's version of Ghost Rider. So there's this strange man, you don't know if he's Satan or if he's the devil or a demon. He gives this boy, Ethan, the power to become a fire monster,
Right.
pretty much. And the reason he gives this power to him is because he wants him to destroy a town.
Right.
And it's a little convoluted. I really can't follow it too well. The art's okay. I like the idea, so I'm gonna keep going with
All
that.
right.
But this Damage book, okay, the Damage book is the DC's version of the Hulk, and I actually really enjoy this book.
Okay.
I can't wait for every issue to come out for this book.
Cool.
It's a super soldier / Hulk
Right.
mashup. So they got this private first class guy from the army who was like almost mortally wounded.
Like Venom, like Agent Venom.
Yeah. And then they inject him with this damage serum.
Right.
And this damage serum turns him into this Hulk-like character for 60 minutes at a pop.
Okay.
He can only stay as that character for 60 minutes, as that, version of him. And what the army uses him for is to destroy other armies.
Right.
So for that hour, he can destroy an entire battalions. He can destroy battalions in minutes. But he stays in this form for 60 minutes, and then it takes him 23 hours to charge back up, to kind of recuperate
Right.
from being damaged. The first 3 issues of Damage was like the introduction to him, and like he doesn't know how to control it. It's still new for this guy.
Right.
He doesn't even know he's doing it. Like he just wakes up like the Hulk would wake up, not know what he did or where he went or where he was. And in the third issue, Wonder Woman comes in to kind of like take him down.
Okay.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. He just doesn't know how to control it.
Right.
Issues 4 and 5 are the newest ones, and they have Poison Ivy in them. And the artwork, Poison Ivy is not one of my favorite characters, but she's one of my favorite characters to look at.
Right.
Because everyone kind of draws her
Differently.
excellent and differently. But these two particular issues, beautiful.
Okay.
Absolutely stunning. And she's basically trying to take over the earth with her
Right.
plants. Damage is trying to stop her,
Okay.
which is pretty cool. So check those out. Then, my last two things I'm going to talk about. These two books are non-superhero books. One is called Pestilence.
Okay.
I saw this just walking down the aisles of the comic book shop. It looked pretty interesting. I'm getting a little tired of superheroes all the time. It's got a really cool cover. It's really like badass and gnarly.
Cool.
It's called Pestilence, A Story of Satan. So the Black Plague in the 1300s
Right.
wasn't the flu virus or virus.
Right.
It was Satan.
Okay.
And Satan's trying to make his way onto Earth by infecting people with the Black Plague, which is really him, not a virus.
Right.
And there's a group of like Crusader type of guys that have to try to stop him. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Cool.
Thought that was a cool little thing to pick up. I don't know how many issues are out, but I picked up number 1. And then lastly, my comic book guy, his name is Sacco Jones from Comic Book Jones. He's like, Steve, are you reading Oblivion Song? And I'm like, what's Oblivion Song? He goes, it's the new Robert Kirkman book. Robert Kirkman is Walking Dead.
Right.
I was like, oh, well, I never read Walking Dead. I was like, but I'll give it a shot. And he gave it. He's like, dude, you got to read it. It's amazing. And I got to say, it's okay.
Right.
It's all right. So something happens on Earth where people are taken off of Earth into another dimension. And in that other dimension, there are all these types of monsters and things. So like half of the population of like Pennsylvania gets taken into this dimension. And there's this guy that kind of travels back and forth. Kind of like the guy from Terminator.
Right.
He kind of travels back and forth through dimensions to save people.
Okay.
So he goes into this alternate realm. He finds humans that are still alive, pulls them back into regular Earth dimension. The twist is his brother is still missing, so he wants to keep going back in.
Okay.
Even though he shouldn't be going back in all the time, because it might be harmful. He might be destroying the rift. I'm going to give this one more issue.
Okay.
I don't really like the artwork. It kind of looks like it's by Image Comics. And it kind of looks like everything else that is by Image Comics.
Right.
Like, there's real no... I find it really hard to find distinctions between a lot of the independent, not the smaller companies' arts. But I'm going to give it one more shot because it is Robert Kirkman. I think there's 3 issues out, so I'm going to go buy 2 and 3
Okay.
and see what happens. Yeah, so that's what I read. So here's a little word from our sponsor.
Comic Book Corner, brought to you by Comic Book Jones, located at 2220 Forest Avenue in Staten Island, and Royal Collectibles at 9601 Metropolitan Avenue in Queens, New York. Visit these fine establishments for all of your comic book needs.
All right, thanks for Tony Wolf. Can't get rid of that bumper.
No.
Paid too much money for that bumper. Did we ever pay Tony for that? I don't think so. I think he did it for free. Thanks, Tony. Pew pew. We got a couple of requests.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got a couple of requests, which I was really, really happy about from the last show. Joey from the So Wizard podcast.
Right.
He wants you to do a review of Silencer.
Okay.
I told him I didn't like John Romita Jr.'s art, and then he scolded me on Twitter.
Thank you very much.
And said that I'm out of my mind. And then he started showing me pictures. He's like, look at this Spider-Man. And I was like, yeah, it's a great Spider-Man. You know why it's a great Spider-Man? Because he has a mask, because John Romita can't draw faces. So, and then I just went online and found all the faces that John
Right.
Romita annihilates and just said, look at this nose. This nose is a square. Nobody's nose is a square. Except like robots. But yeah, he wants us to do Silencer. So you could do that. Since,
Okay.
And I'll do the next story arc
All
because
right.
it's a different artist. John Romita, you stink. I know that's blasphemy. Everyone loves John Romita Jr. It's just not my thing. And then we got Mark James from @MarkJamesPoop. That's his Twitter handle.
Okay.
@MarkJamesPoop, POOP. Okay, here's your first request. God Loves, Man Kills. I don't know who it's from or what company it comes from.
I think it's an X-Men.
Is it an X-Men?
I think so.
God Loves, Man Kills? Well, we'll do that for you. We'll pick that up. Hopefully it's on Comixology. If not, I'll try to get it at the local comic shop.
Yeah, it's an X-Men one.
It's an X-Men
Yep.
one?
Chris,
Is it
Chris Claremont.
Oh, nice. How many issues is it?
Original graphic novel published in 1982.
Oh, there you go. Okay, we'll get on that.
Definitely do that.
We'll definitely get on that. My Marvel Unlimited subscription runs out the 21st.
I will go out and buy this.
I got 10 days to read that.
I'll go buy it.
So we'll definitely do that for you, Mark. So thank you very much for that. Then we got 2 social shit times.
Okay.
You want to guess from who? Go ahead, guess.
Mike.
Nope.
Sebi.
Nope. Come on, who do we always get social shit times from?
Joe, but we never respond to
Oh,
him.
Kate. Librarian Kate, our number 1 fan from Dinner and a Podcast.
Just carrying over.
She's carrying over, man. She says, listening right now, I like that you guys are splitting up the comic book stuff from Dinner and a Podcast.
Okay.
So thank you very much for that, Kate. Glad you're listening. Glad you enjoy it. And then our number 2 fan,
Uh-oh.
Phil Batista. He goes, this was so awesome, guys. I always loved Comic Book Corner segment on Dinner and a Podcast. As I'm listening right now, I downloaded Spider-Man 800 and The Hunt for Wolverine. I don't know which one to start first. So there you go.
Hunt for Wolverine.
Yeah, go for Hunt for Wolverine.
Yeah.
I like that one. It's pretty good. Definitely read Spider-Man.
You got to go back for the rest of the Spider-Man story arc.
Yeah.
You could just jump into Wolverine.
Yeah, I think so too. That's really all we got for today. Next week, we are going to talk about the Hunt for Wolverine tie-ins.
Yes.
There are 4 number 1
Yep.
books that we're going to read, which is The Adamantium Agenda, Claws of the Killer, Mystery in Madripoor, and Weapon Lost. Yeah, that was right. I got them all. I got them all.
You're having a hard time remembering 4 things today.
You didn't remember any of them. You were looking at me the whole time I was saying, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's see if we get to the next one. But until next week, I'm Steve.
I'm Joe.
Thanks for listening to Comic Book Corner, guys.
Thanks a lot.